Okay, in this video we're finishing the patch I made for the gas tank filler neck hole that I made in my last video or two. Link in the description. We're going to finally weld it in with a TIG welder, going to grind it down, going to planish it, hammer and dolly by hand, and then get it finished to where it's at now, which is ready for epoxy primer and eventually body filler. So let's get into it. Let's go. So here's the patch I made, all welded in, planished, ground down, sanded it with a DA. You can see there's no knots or bumps or lumps in here where I not only made the patch, but I also planished it by hand. Alright, I have my patch in place. I spent several minutes tweaking it to where I'll get the fit just where I like it. Still going to have to come back and work this with a hammer and dolly after I get it welded, and I already knew that, and I know it now, and so I'm not going to sweat over it too much. It fits, it's just not perfect, and that's part of this patch. So now I'm going to get it tacked in with the TIG welder. I'll probably come back and hammer and dolly the tacks to get it, because it will move around some as I tack it in. That's what welding does, it's part of the game. So here we go. Got one there. I haven't TIG welded in over a year, so I'm a tad rusty. We'll take the hammer and dolly now and hammer and dolly it some. Got two different dollies here. We'll see which shape fits better. This one or the heel dolly. I broke all but two of my tacks. So that was pitiful. Alright, I'm not gonna lie with that. I struggled pretty good with that. I hadn't TIG welded in over a year probably. And my glasses, I need new glasses. I can make 100 excuses and they're all valid, but so I got a little bit better as I went. Now I'm gonna come back and lightly grind off the heads of the welds. I got them puddled up a little more than I'd like. There's some decent little blobs on here. I want to knock that down, and then I'll come back and do some more planishing. I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit disappointed in myself, but hey, it happens. Alright, I'm going to planish this back out. I'm going to use a hammer-on dolly technique. So stretch these welds back out. You want to hear that singing when you're doing this. I think it's time to weld it. I'm not going to be able to get it any better than that. Now, when it comes to TIG welding in patch panels, there's two camps. You got to stitch it, or you weld it all in one pass. The experts that I trust, Mike Wagner at Cornfield, Ray Chalene, Pro Shaper. There's a young guy up in Rhode Island, Travis something. He's got a YouTube channel. Most of the pros that I watch, that I believe, tell you to weld the whole thing in one long pass. And there's a lot of reasons behind it, scientific, whatever. Mike Wagner gives the best explanation I've seen. Go watch his channel, Cornfield Customs, about why you want to weld it all in one pass. I'm not going to go into it here because people will get bored and tune out. But I'm having such a hard time today TIG welding, I don't feel like I'm capable of welding this thing all in one pass and not screwing it up. I got gaps here more than I'd like. I burned a couple of holes that I don't like. I'm still struggling with TIGging after not doing it for a year. Again, my glasses, I don't want to make a bunch of excuses. But I'm going to just TIG it in sections. I'm not going to TIG the whole thing. I'm the one doing it. I got to do what works best for me. If I was Mike Wagner or one of those pros, I'd be out here done and could do it in my sleep. I'm not. So I'm going to start doing some welding and crossing my fingers here. I got that far. I'm getting to where I can't see. So I got to stop right there. That's a quarter of it done. I did start and stop some, but I had to. I just had to do it. I'm going to go ahead and grind this and planish the bottom half. That's not how you normally do it if you were really good at it. I'm not. So I'm going to do what I can do. So we'll grind it, planish it, weld the holes up in the bottom that I passed over, and then finish up the top side. I'm just grinding down the high tops of the welds. I don't want to grind all the way down. We'll let Planishing take care of a lot of that later. Now time to planish. It's actually not half bad. That is really close. I'm nitpicking now, so. Alright, so I need to weld these holes up down here now and then finish the top. So I had the section I welded yesterday, welded and planished. Got to weld this last section here, and then we'll be done welding, I hope. Well, the camera just died, so I don't know where I was at when it died. I gotta weld up these last few holes here. Well, I finally dipped the tungsten right here at the very end. For me, that's a record. if I can switch modes a minute to my body man mode, let's get this area right for filler. No big high spots. We want just a smidgen low so the filler will wipe without a bunch of knots sticking through it. I need to knock that paint edge off right quick. It's just in my way. Definitely not metal finished. It's going to require filler. I said from the very beginning I'd be putting filler in this, so that's not new. Alright, I'm going to go with that. Let me run the DA over it right quick. Okay, here's my finished patch, all welded, planished, ground down. I ran the DA over it, got it smooth. It's ready for primer and eventually filler. So let me give you the once over here. Light line, the area where I shaped it out here in the middle, light line, that's really good. There's no knots or bumps. Try to pan down and see the light line. It's shaped really well. I'm happy with it. Let me grab the contour gauge and we'll make one final check here. There's a contour gauge. You can see the dip at the top, which I knew that was going to be there because this area right here is not shaped the same as the other side. But the bottom section, it fits a profile gauge really well. So that's the end of my patch panel video. In the first video, we made the patch on my hot rod power hammer. And then in this one, obviously we welded it in, planished it down and ground it down, and now it's ready for epoxy primer and then filler down the road. So I hope I taught you something in this video as well as the first video on how to make a patch like this. It was a pretty easy patch to make. I haven't TIG welded in about a year, so I was a little bit rusty. This is also a bit of an awkward position to get into. If you haven't TIG welded, you have to position yourself, just right. And I have a hard time seeing with these old glasses. I need to get some new glasses. You don't care, so anyway. So I had a bit of a struggle welding this in. My dolly selection on the inside of the cab with that dome shape. My two dollies I was using, I was struggling with the positioning to get I was using this back heel, I was using this face, I was trying to use the flat face, I even turned around tried to use this face. So I was struggling pretty good with the positioning of my dollies. When you planish welds, you have to do hammer on dolly. If you just miss by a little bit, all you're doing is making more bumps and dents for yourself, which I actually wound up doing in here. I had to get them back out. So yeah, I struggled, but I got it done. I was never intended to metal finish this. In other words, perfectly metal finished, no body filler. This is going to have a wipe of filler. I rebuilt this front edge here, you remember in my last video or 2 or 3. So there's a little trough here, and then we got a little low spot that blends into with the patch. So there's going to be a 1/16-ish or less of filler in this area here to skim coat it up. Can't be helped. It is what it is. That's what I'm doing. I hate that I couldn't metal finish it perfectly. I just don't have that skill set. Maybe I'll get there one day if I keep doing this another 20 years, which I won't. But anyway, that's it. We're done. I'm happy and ready to move on. So I'm still trying to grow the channel. We're over 500 subscribers now, almost at 600. So every view, every like, every comment that I get helps me do that. If you guys want to leave a like or a comment, I would appreciate it. I'm not going to beg for views. That's not my thing. But if you like what I'm doing, I would appreciate, a like or a comment. It does help the video get out to more people and get more exposure. But anyway, enough of that mess. Be sure to do all the YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, notification bell. As I said, share it around. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Y'all come back now, you hear? Happy patch panel, y'all. Bye.